Hey, everybody, it's Thursday. That means it's Broker Talk time. Broker Talk is a weekly show that delivers the unvarnished truth about real estate and working in the industry. Each week, we bring you guests who are experts in their particular field, and this week is no exception. We'll break down the facts and deliver the solutions for you. We're thrilled to be able to do this. I'm here with my co host, the incredible Jim Lowenstern. He is the broker owner of Castles Unlimited International. Welcome aboard, Jim.
Thank you, Larry. Thanks for having me again. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good today. It's not quite as cold. We have our masks off, even though we're here socially distanced, all by ourselves.
Broadcasting from the top of the Castles Unlimited Space Needle.
I think you're on the needle. I'm I'm on the second floor somewhere.
Okay.
I can see Russia from here. Uh,
All right,
anyway,
let's get to serious stuff.
well, I don't know how serious, but it will be interesting. Our guest today is Jess Stone. She is a wonderful agent who started her career in South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame territory. And she has currently moved her operation to the Tampa, Florida area. She took Tom Brady down there with her, and we hate her for that. But we're thrilled to have her on the show to share with us her insights. Welcome aboard, Jess.
Hi, thanks for having me, Larry. I'm so excited.
We're thrilled to have you. I have known Jess for a long while. Followed her in on many of the social media platforms for real estate agents, and I am curious about why you moved to Tampa, and how it's been rebuilding your good business in a new territory.
Well, it has definitely been interesting. Moving from South Bend to Tampa, that's a pretty big leap. We went from, small town Indiana where we had maybe 100,000 people in the entire metropolitan area, maybe 150, to over, there's 4 million people in the metropolitan area of Tampa. So that's a really, really, really big change for me. Um, but I always really kind of wanted a bigger market and a bigger backyard to play in. And there were too many things in the universe that really lined up and said, get down to Tampa. So that is why I am here.
Well,
um,
that whole starting over thing is not easy. Um, Early in my career, I met Walter Sanford. Walter Sanford was a real estate agent out of California, one of the top guys back then. He wrote a series of books, and I read when I started in the business. I read this one, you know, if I could start over again, and it's the first 90 days, and it tells you everything to do in those 90 days. So, what did you do in your first 90 days, Jess?
well, my first 90 days in Florida was pretty eventful. So I didn't do a whole lot until probably October. And that was when I really hit the ground running. I was down here for 2 months before things really started getting off the ground for me. My first 90 days, it was a lot of getting out there and meeting people, and it was a lot of, honestly, it was a lot of advertising, a lot of Facebook advertising, Instagram. Um, and I know it's the big bad right now, but I did do a lot of Zillow advertising.
Oh my
um,
gosh.
I know. It's like I'm kicking myself, but it's funny. It's like I call Zillow for new agents. I call it like a necessary evil because they have so much of a market share as far as advertising costs is concerned. But now I don't even spend any money with them at all. I just the trust is not
So,
there.
so Jess,
Yeah.
the licensing process. So you had a license in Indiana. You were in the
Yes.
business. Were you studying for the exam before you went down and took the
I
exam as soon as?
was. I
Not
started
an easy
studying.
exam.
No, it was not. It was a different beast than Indiana. But in Indiana, I actually have a broker's license, so that made life a little easier down here when I was taking the test. But it was the test itself. We decided we were gonna move in June of 2019, and in August of 2019, a week before the kids were scheduled to start school, we moved. So I was studying starting in June, also trying to wrap up 3 sales in Indiana and, start putting together something for Florida. Um, I had some ideas that I was working on when I moved to Florida that I wanted to do, but the licensing, it took a little bit longer than I was expecting, but life did throw me a couple of curveballs in there between the very, very fast move and then a month to the day after we moved, my mother also passed away, so I had to go back to Indiana. Oh, sorry, my
You
pool
have a
guy's here.
dog that has to be let out also?
Well, the dog is locked in the bedroom, and we can't really let her out because the pool guy is here. So hopefully, hubby will lower the blinds so she can't see him. Yep, I hear him lowering the blinds.
It's it's a dog world. And it's a
Yep,
Zoom life. It's a dog world.
yeah. So I also lock the kids in the bedroom too. So
No
So,
chains.
so how do you like Tampa? How different, how different is the market down there than South Bend?
I have never experienced a market like this. For starters, shifting my brain to the pricing, that was like, that was
Higher
really
or
hard.
lower? Higher or lower?
Tampa is much higher.
Really?
Yeah, I came from our average sale in South Bend was around 120, and that's if you're lucky. So I would say
120 buys you what?
120 will buy you 3 beds, 1 bath in South Bend, where we have a lot of older houses. Um,
A lot of
they,
bungalows, I remember.
yeah, a lot of bungalows. We have a lot of little craftsman builds out there. Old houses that were built in the early 1900s, with these little tiny staircases that you go up and everything. Um, and down here in Florida, it's like, 120 will get you maybe if you're lucky,
Condo.
a condo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're still paying, $400 a month in HOA or condo fees. So it's been interesting. My my house in South Bend, if it was down here in Florida, it would probably be a $400,000 house. And in Indiana, it's $160,000 house. So it's a big change. It really is. Getting used to that pricing,
So is the
it took me a
market
while.
more risk in Tampa?
Yes, I think
More
so.
activity?
There's a lot more activity. I mean, we're seeing everything that you guys are seeing all over the place, with lots of highest and bests. Today I got an offer on, well, I got 3 offers within a half an hour on a house that I have listed. So multiple offer notifications are being sent out. It's crazy. I've never experienced this. This is my 7th year doing real estate, and this is all new to me. I keep telling these new agents, I'm like, every transaction is going to be a learning experience, no matter what.
It
And
always is.
that's,
It
yeah,
always is.
and you really got to keep that in mind for everything, I think.
Right. Right. And it's new to everybody, Jess. Nobody has experienced this level of a seller's market where you're having 12, 14, 30 offers on a
Oh
property.
yeah, yeah.
And it's really interesting to me because I'm working with some buyers right now, how um, each agent is dealing with this differently. And a lot of it is totally helter skelter. Um, Here in Massachusetts, we still have to wear masks. We're supposed to be social distance. I was in
Mhm.
an open house last week, a tiny little, what, a 1,200 square foot. There was 20 people in the house. And my
Wow.
clients, we just left. It was crazy.
Yeah, I actually I feel bad because I haven't had, well, I've had the opportunity to but I personally have not done an open house since COVID started. Yeah, March was my last one that I did.
I think the first one I've done was this past Sunday,
How many
and
people did you have through?
enough that I was nervous and I was locking the door behind people and trying to. I shouldn't say that. I did an open house last summer, but it was a much lower price and there were fewer people. This was actually $2.6 million house,
Oh,
and I
nice.
probably had about 20 people through
Yeah,
Wow.
it, including children, and it was nerve wracking.
yeah,
Really, it really
yeah.
was.
Jess, the average price point here, average price point in Newton, where our offices are, 1.4 million. So 2.6 is still a luxury property, but
Very unusual house. It was completed in about 2018, maybe even a little before that, but I think they got the CO in 2018, the certificate of occupancy. No one ever lived in it. So it's
Wow.
essentially a new constructed house with no warranties. So it's interesting. I hate to give them a plug, but Redfin sent me an email, said, "Hey, you want to have a call for offers on your listing?" I guess it would have been in redfin.com. Again, I should smack myself for giving them the plug. Castlesunlimited.com. So yeah, as soon as I put that in, someone who had seen it a week earlier said, "Hey, my customer." It was a broker call. My customer said, "You're calling for offers Thursday night." I go, I mean, that was like 20 minutes later. I get this call. I
Wow.
go, yeah. She says, "I don't see that in MLS." I said, "Oh, I was just doing it now, so I had to do it in MLS."
Wow.
But because of them, I think I'm going to have two offers today, whereas I probably wouldn't have had them otherwise.
And this brings up the point about technology. And we're back to Zillow now. There's so much money that they have to spend on technology, and that doesn't mean necessarily because they have the platform on which to sell properties that they're selling them at the highest or best price. But any agent is thrilled to have more offers than less offers.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
I can't keep up with everything that I have to do, so it was actually good for me to be prodded a little bit. Took me 2 seconds to say, yeah, Thursday at 5,
Yeah,
friend offers.
yeah.
You
Let's
don't, you don't
talk
always remember.
let's talk for a moment about what happened with Zillow this week. We've all now seen the exchange between Zillow and an agent. A person asked Zillow to see one of their properties, and Zillow said,
I'm out of the loop. Was this
"Well,
in?
if you listen, you'll be back in the loop."
I'm
So
listening.
yeah, so Zillow answered, "Are you an agent?" And or no, are you a
Are you working
buyer?
with an agent?
Are you working with an agent? I thought,
I
are you a
I don't
buyer? Are
know.
you
It was
working with an agent?
are you a buyer? Are you
W-
interested in purchasing or something like that?
yeah, with an agent,
Hmm.
and
This is a Zillow bot, essentially.
exactly, it's
Okay.
a Zillow
Yep.
listing, and the person said, "No, I am an agent." And Zillow came back and said, "I'm sorry, we're not showing to agents right now." Wasn't that exactly what they said?
I believe
Not
so.
not cooperating.
Not cooperating.
I think it was no, it was the
Mm.
property was unavailable for viewing, but it was right after, and it was it was crazy. I'm actually trying to find it right now, really
What was
quickly.
that in Inman? The article
Um,
was in Inman. Inman
I
News.
no, I actually saw an agent had posted it in Lab Coat Agents,
Oh,
which
okay.
is fabulous. If you're not on there yet, go and check it out. They're pretty cool. Um,
There's a lot of platforms
but
for real estate agents. Lab Coat Agents happens to be one of the good ones.
yeah,
So many of these platforms for agents are all new agents asking the same question: How do I get listings? Um, or they're sharing a story that they've experienced somebody was rude to them or somebody, um,
So what do you think the backlash is going to be? Are people going to eventually, I mean, agents eventually not going to allow their listings to be shared with Zillow if there's no cooperation?
That's going to be interesting, I think, because I mean, I would think that that would be a violation of COE, um,
The COE is what?
code of ethics.
Ah,
So, because I think that we are going to be, I mean, if they're technically considered a brokerage, which I know they are in Florida, they're technically considered a brokerage now, we kind of have to cooperate with them. So, but at the same time, I know that because I just finished my 2 year required licensing, if a seller says on the contract that they don't want to cooperate with Zillow agents, they don't have to. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm
well, we'll
very
find
interested to
out.
see how it goes.
yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Run it up the flagpole.
The reason why Zillow can do this is because they have so much money, because agents are buying back their leads that they're creating from Zillow to get buyers and sellers, and it's absurd. You're feeding the person who's trying to steal your business.
Mhm.
It's absolutely nuts. Um, but speaking about paying the bills, we're going to take a brief moment here and we're going to pay some of our bills with an ad. We'll be back in a moment.
When you are searching for a new home, you want to be working with a realtor with years of experience, a professional with intimate knowledge of the communities that you are considering moving to, and someone who really wants to represent you as a buyer in what is probably the largest investment you will ever make in your lifetime. The realtors at Castles Unlimited want to be your choice when you are ready to make your next move. Please visit us at castlesunlimited.com or call us anytime at 800-967-3561. The realtors at Castles Unlimited.
Hey, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. We're here talking with Jess Stone, a wonderful agent. We're talking about all kinds of things, a changing market. So, Jess, we had a conversation earlier about relationship agents versus transactional agents. Do you want to share a little bit of that? Because I know you're a
Sure.
relationship agent.
Yes, I am very much a relationship agent. For me, I really believe that a good realtor is going to be somebody that, it's, you see these memes all over the place, we're a matchmaker, we're a therapist. You got to really learn about your clients. This is not an industry. Well, I mean, sure, there are people out there that are like, okay, we're just going to open the door and let you walk in. You like, you buy, but it's you really, for me, I like to get to know what my people are looking for. And you notice that I called them people and not clients, because to me, everybody is their own unique individual. I could have a client that's looking for, this gorgeous house on the water, and then I could have somebody that's looking for a tiny little 2 bedroom condo. They're going to have different needs, and it's my job to decide, you know the best way to approach them and to see exactly what works for them, because I'm not going to show somebody that wants a condo, I'm not going to show them a $500,000 house and say, oh, look at all this great space. You're going to want to go and you're going to want to actually have a conversation. I think, yes, transactional realtors, they can get stuff done and they might have a higher sales volume than me. But for me, it's all about being personal and having a conversation. How else can I do my job if I don't know what they want?
Right. What's your thought on that, Jim? I know that you go back and forth between being transactional or being relationship. You have some funny things to say about relationships, but what's your take on relationship versus transactional?
Uh, okay, so I was letting the dog back in. I'm just like a puppy doorman at this point. So I kind of lost the gist of it. When you say transactional, you mean like I don't care about the person. It's just putting the butt in the seat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Versus okay. Um, hmm. You know, I, I, I I think it depends on the mood that I'm going to speak generally. I think the person's mood. You know, they don't have a lot of business, and you know they've got. Like I can remember when I started in the business, I only had a few clients, and I spent all my time working with them and got to know them. Now, I don't know. I have a different position. I do mainly new construction, so I'm not really interacting with the kids and the guinea pigs and all that in the house. Thankfully, because with COVID, I can only imagine how tough that is. Uh, so it's really different. So I don't know if I'm the right person to ask this question.
Well,
I think I think it's always good to have a personal touch, no matter who you're dealing with and
right,
when. But
right.
you know,
This is such an important thing for people who are buying a house. It's, as we know, one of the most expensive things that they do in their lives. Even at the luxury level, you buy a new luxury property, they're may even know more about what to buy. We have a new guest. Uh,
she literally wanted to jump up on me, so here she goes.
Hey.
Layla, you can look in the camera and say hi.
no, uh,
Hi, hi.
Hi, Layla.
Layla's not so sure she wants to be there now.
No, no, she jumped up and now she's having second
Yeah,
thoughts.
yeah. I'm up, I'm
Like,
down.
oh, I'm not ready for the camera.
So, Jess, what do you see now going forward with your business? That you're a little bit more established. You've run some ads in both Facebook and where else are you running ads?
I'm all over the place. I'm on Google Ads. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I
Okay, so
just
let's talk
I
about Facebook because you can really
Yeah.
drill down into who you're targeting.
Hmm.
You know, so I mean, it's not just people on, not your friends because
Exactly.
probably a lot of your friends are still in Indiana.
Yeah. I have a lot of people in Indiana, but it's funny. I mean, I still have an Indiana license, so
So are you
Indiana people,
looking?
if you're looking,
Are 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 you looking for people in a certain price range, certain age group? What kind of things do
you
they
know,
like?
I do a bunch of different stuff. I
Fans
have
of Santa
Yeah.
Clarita Diet?
Well, right now I'm actually running one for the Tampa Bay Buck fans. So, maybe there's some Northerners up there that I actually have quite a few clients from like New York right now. I have like four, and I'm like, okay, they want the nice weather. Um, this is also a really good time to
And
get
this is going to be
snowbirds.
your first summer in Florida,
This
correct?
is my well, last summer was my first summer here,
Okay.
but that was a lot of me getting established. I mean, I had an excellent year last year, don't get me wrong. It probably would have been better without COVID. I think that really slowed me down, but
Everyone.
I am very optimistic, and I know that this year is going to be better than last year. I mean, March 30th, I'm closing on a $2.2 million property. So that's the biggest sale of my career so far, and
So
I'm super
what
proud.
was the biggest sale of your career before that?
I would actually have to say the biggest one of my career was 700,000. So it was like 725, and that was in South Bend. It was my last year in South Bend, and um,
That
yeah,
was a big house in South
yeah,
Bend.
yes, it was a very big house, and that was a
So what do you
foreign
get for
investor.
700 in South Bend?
It was over 3,000 square feet, 2 stories, basement, dog barking apparently. Um, a gorgeous piece of property. I believe it had 3 acres with it, and it was all wooded. It was up in the hills. Yeah, we have hills in South Bend, lo and behold. But it was kind of off the beaten path, and that's what 700,000 will get you in South Bend.
And who bought it?
Um, it was a client of mine. He was the VP of a biotech company in Warsaw, Indiana. So I don't want
Which
to
is
tell too much
nearby.
about. So
Yeah,
I'm
Okay.
sorry, what?
it's nearby.
Yes, yeah,
Right.
it's very close by. So it was a half an hour drive for him to commute to work. So
So, what suggestions would you have, Jess, for people who may be moving or are first starting out? What three things would you have them do?
my first suggestion would be get to know your neighbors. So when you move to a new place, that's the first thing that I did. I actually made some cookies and I went next door and to the houses directly around me. Um, and it was funny, there was a for sale by owner right down the street from me. And that was my first listing in Tampa. But I introduced myself to everybody in the neighborhood, like especially.
And what exactly did you say? Hi, I'm Jess. I just rolled into town.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like, hi, I just moved in next door, or I just moved in right down the street. And I'm a realtor. I'm getting started here. I've got my license. I work for Remax. And, just kind of, I don't like to be pushy. I'm not a pushy person. Um, so I don't, I'll let people know. Everybody knows I'm a realtor. It's all over the place. I have Remax stuff that I wear when I'm out and about. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. Um, I leave business cards everywhere. I left them at the hair salon when I got my hair done. I leave them at my esthetician when I get a facial. My masseuse has some. If I go to a coffee house, I'll stick it up on the bulletin board. If I'm out to eat at like some little restaurant, I'll be like, "Hey, I'm a realtor." I even slipped my cards into like my bills, like for like if I'm out at a restaurant, I'll slip like a card in there and I'll be like, hey.
So the other question I had is on social media, are you advertising your listings with your photo, like in a little
Mm-hmm.
inset, and
Yep.
then they click on it and it takes them to that listing page on your personal website?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
I have a couple of personal websites. I have one that I do my specific listings to. I try and do landing and squeeze pages for each of the listings. Even if I don't personally have a couple of listings, anything on our team,
So
we're allowed to
explain to the
advertise.
audience what a squeeze page is.
Squeeze page is this wonderful, wonderful thing that we set up, and it's specific to a property. Or if you're doing a specific search, it's used to capture information so I can call that person, or I can text them or email them. I'm a big fan of texting people. I seem to get more um,
Response.
response. Yes, thank you, Larry. I get more response if I text because nobody wants to answer the phone these
So
days.
your squeeze page, it requires a phone number?
Yeah, after they look at like three pictures, it
Right.
says, hey, if you want to see more, just type in your email and your phone number.
We call it forced registration in the business.
It is
Yeah,
forced registration because you can't
Do
go
you ever
further.
get a wrong number?
all the time.
Yeah.
I've gotten some really interesting names too. It's like I got Vin Diesel one time, and
Well,
I had some fun with that
sure, he
because it
buys
was,
real estate.
yeah. No, it was an active email address. So I just started emailing, hey Vin, how's it going? I'd love to show you some property in Clearwater. Tom Cruise just moved in. You might have a nice neighbor. So who knows? So, but no, I try and have fun with it. I try and be as engaging as possible. Um, I'm not I'm not a stuffy suit. Which, sorry, Larry, I know you're wearing a suit right now, but um, no,
It is stuffed more than it was earlier in my life, but I'm not a
He's got a
stuffy suit.
bathing suit on under it though.
so so it's the COVID-19. Is that what it
Well,
is?
my wife asks me every day, when we get up, is this a pants day? That means am I leaving the home office or am I staying home? So it's a pants day.
It's a pants day for me too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hey,
I'll
we
save the
could
wine for later.
we could stay and talk for hours. Do you have any last words that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, if you're new to a new location, I would definitely try anything. Just talk to everybody. You'd be surprised. I can't. Oh, and answer your phone. That's, I
That's
just
Larry. That's Larry. Now
I
you're
say
doing
that.
now
Thank
you're
you
doing
for
a
that.
Larry. Now you're doing a Larry impression.
Answer
So
your damn
no,
phone.
there's so
so I
many
did I
pages.
did the
Just
I
don't
did the
answer.
reverse. I did the reverse Florida. I came to Massachusetts without a license from Florida where I had a license, and I hit the ground running. I got five of the best listings in Newton
Nice.
the pretty much the day I got licensed. And
Nice.
basically, I think the thing you have to let everyone know is no matter where you are, you're the best.
Mm-hmm.
You have to articulate that. If you
Yeah.
don't, you're just one more broker. And that's whether you're new in town or whether you've been there forever. Got to let them know because everyone wants to work with the best.
That's true. That's
I
true.
I think I don't think you have to say it. I think you have to demonstrate it.
Mhm.
Saying it
You say it and then you demonstrate it. I mean,
right.
how do you demonstrate? You got to have an opportunity to demonstrate.
Well, and in my case, I never say it, but I demonstrate it by my knowledge of the properties and the interest. But I think there are 100 ways to do things right. I think there's a million ways to do things wrong. Do them right. Find what works for you, and I think that's what this whole show has been about. It's what has been working for Jess. I thank you, Jess, so
Thank you,
much
Jess.
Awesome.
for being
Pleasure.
part of it. It's
This has been
I'll
fun.
see you on the lab coat. Lab
Yeah.
coat.
Lab Coat Agents.
Yep.
Agents.
And rock stars. Rock stars. We gotta plug Marina.
Barino has been a guest here.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, and join us next week. We've got another great show next week.